me to discuss this is
Joy Ubem. It is a program that discusses various national and international matters.
A Nigerian should be able to live and work in a hospitable and safe environment in the north or south or east or west of Nigeria.
We cannot have a country where politicians do things and get away with them and expect that the citizens will do otherwise.
Daily Communion for the love of God and neighbor.
Good morning and welcome to Daily Communion on Catholic Television of Nigeria. We're reaching you from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. I am Joy Ubem.
And my name is Arthur Ejiofor. You're welcome to this segment.
Okay, we have quite a number of activities lined up for you. As usual, our first item on our lineup this morning is words of affirmation, and we will also join Nelly for her to put us through on how to stay healthy. We have our workout team, and we will also join them for them to put us through on how to stay fit as a fiddle. Up next is words of affirmation. Stay with us.
Good morning and welcome to today's edition of Daily Affirmations. Do you know that the difference between possibility and impossibility is determination? Once you're determined about doing something, the possibility just presents itself. Philippians chapter 4 verse 13 says, I can do all things with Christ who strengthens me. And so what do you think is impossible for you? Pick up that task that you feel it's impossible today. Remember that Christ says he would help you do all things. And if Christ is for you, then you are able to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. Do not let anyone deceive you. As long as it is possible, then it is possible for you. As long as you have the energy, you have the strength, you have the hope, you are agile, you're motivated, you can do it. Go out today and make it. God bless you.
Welcome to Health Tips on the Daily Communion. Expedient is your health. Expedient that you take care of your health. Very vital. If you don't take care of your health, you don't take care of your body, sickness will evade you like plagues and cut your life short. So you need to take care of your health for your well-being, total wellness, and longevity. Today we are talking common cold. Common cold is a viral infection that affects the upper respiratory tract, including the nose, the throat, and the lungs. It is one of the most frequent illnesses people experience. Old, young, male, female experience common cold from time to time. What are the symptoms and signs for you to know that you are down with common cold? When you start noticing that you have a running nose and thin, clear discharge that may turn yellow or green down the road. When you begin to have a stuffy nose, nasal congestion, that is what it is called. Then you begin to sneeze repeatedly, sneezing all the time. When you begin to cough all the time, mild to moderate coughing. Sometimes it starts small, then it keep increasing. Then when you have sore throat too, also, you feel fatigued. The thing about this common cold is that you don't even know what's wrong with you. Then you begin to feel so tired, so fatigued and all that. Begin to feel excessively fatigued like that, you know that you might be down with common cold. Then you have headaches. Sometimes these headaches can just be mild and then it becomes moderate. Mild to moderate headaches is also a symptom sign of common cold. Sometimes you just lose your appetite. The loss of appetite, decreased interest in food might also be a symptom of common cold. Then sometimes some people have mild fever, begin to feel feverish and all that. It is a sign of common cold. Now, what are the causes of this common cold, since we agreed that it happens to both male, female, old, young? Yes, the first cause might be a viral infection. Over 200 different viruses can cause common cold. Number 2 is transmission. It spreads through the air. Some airborne droplets like coughing, somebody cough around you, somebody sneeze around you, and they already have cold. Common cold is spreads through the air, and in close contact, when you're in close contact with such people that sneeze or cough around you, even from touching, because sometimes the particles, the bacteria might just get on their hands, and they shake hands with you, they touch you, you can get contaminated. Then also you can get infected from contaminated surface, like on a table, chair, and everywhere around. When people who are already infected, we cough or sneeze around, those bacteria just spread around and settles on surfaces around. If you then go touch it and then touch your nose or touch your mouth with it, or you even sleep on a bed with one who has dropped some droplets on it, you're surely going to come down with common cold. Things you should do not to come down with common cold as much as it depends on you. We will start by saying that you should frequently wash your hand. Frequent washing of your hand. Use soap and water. And when you want to wash this hand, we have taught you here before, wash this hand with soap and water for at least 20 seconds so that every bacteria that might be there or any bacteria that might have settled there will wash off. Some of you just rush to go and wash and you just pour water and you just go as if you're in a hurry or somebody is chasing after you or you're chasing after something. No, spend at least 20 seconds to wash your hands with soap and water. Then avoid close contact. Yes, anywhere you see somebody down with cold, common cold, sneezing, coughing, avoid them for a while. That does not mean you don't love them, but so that you will not come down with it as well. Just avoid them for a while until it will clear off, and then you guys can start relating again at a close range. Avoid sharing too. Don't share utensils like the towels or personal items like the spoon, like the cups and all that. Avoid it for that moment when they are done. Could be your family member, it could be your friend when they are done with cough, cold and catarrh. Allow them for a while until they are well. What do? Stay hydrated, drink plenty of fluids to help your body fight off the infection. Then get enough sleep. We always say that. Then you have to engage in regular exercises so you can stay fit. There you have it. The best day to practice healthy living is today, and the best time is now. Start taking care of your health now so that you will stay well and live longer. Do not forget to add exercises to your daily healthy living routine. Now, let's go to our fitness center and join for today's exercise. I am Nelly Frank, your healthy living therapist. Thank you.
Seven, 8, 9, 10, 8, lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, lift it up. 7, up, 1, 8, 9, 10 more. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Swap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6. Let's go. 6, 6. Tap, 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 tap. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6. So let's go. Shoulder.
Shire. Tap.
3,
Now 3 punches.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right leg up. Okay.
3, 3. Yes.
Don't drop it on the floor. 3,
There we go.
4, 7, 5,
Shire.
6,
Yes.
7, 8,
Tap.
9. One
There
more.
we go.
Swap it. 1, 2. Swap your legs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
One more time.
9,
Tap.
10. Swap it.
Welcome back to Daily Communion on Catholic Television of Nigeria, reaching you from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja, this beautiful morning. If you are just joining us, it's our discussion segment. There's been a wave of defection from other political parties to the ruling All Progressive Congress in Nigeria today. Today we'll take a look at these defections. And joining us in our studio this morning is Honorable Ukenya Marcel Onora, who is a two-time member of House of Assembly in Imo State and a previous deputy gubernatorial candidate under the Action Alliance AA in Imo State. Welcome to Daily Communion, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, all right. What are your thoughts on this wave of defections from other parties, including the ruling party with prominent members and governors, sitting governors, former deputy vice presidential candidates? What are your thoughts on these defections?
The wave of defection of politicians from one party to the other has been a continuum since the inception of democracy in 1999 in the country. But recently, the ones we have seen or we have witnessed has caused a lot of, brought up a lot of discussions, because it looks as if we are drifting to one party state, a situation that calls for worry in our polity. Because for you to have a multi-party system in a country, there is need for a ruling party and a strong opposition. The strong opposition acts as a check against the ruling party. And the fundamentals of checking a ruling party is very, very important in a democracy. So what is happening now seems to be a different thing from what we used to see. Is it because people are saying that in the history of the country's politics, this is the first time a politician is ruling us? Starting from even 1979, where Shagari was elected. He was a classroom teacher before he was brought in to run an election and he became the president. Down to 1999, where Obasanjo was drafted from prison to come and become a president. He was a soldier. After Yaradua came in, Yaradua was a classroom teacher. The lecturer in the university, he was lecturing chemistry. Down to Jonathan, who was equally a lecturer at the College of Education. After Jonathan comes Buhari, that was equally a soldier. Then after Buhari comes the almighty Tinubu, who we all know is a politician from grassroots.
So, but if the one party is working, is doing well, it shouldn't be a problem.
Well, in as much as there are some advantages of one party system, but the disadvantages are greater than the advantages you intend to enjoy. You can now say under one party state, you talk about stability and efficiency in government because there seems to be a stability decision is run by the one straight jacket way. You see clear direction, see people having one direction on the way they want to go as a single party. And there will be no conflict of opinions. But the disadvantage is greater. There are a few countries that are practicing one-party states. China, North Korea, Eritrea. These are not big names.
No, but you can say that China and North Korea are not big names.
I'm talking about in democracy. These are not big names.
Very good. I would like to take you up on what you said about the implication of checks and what is now the implication of the defection of people from one party to another in democracy. What's the implication to democracy?
The implication is that we are running towards one party system. And those things have some serious undertone. When you see a candidate, like what happened in Delta State, the entire system moving to another party, there are some things you watch and say, why did they move?
But PDP have their crisis, so the governor, would you want to remain in a place where there's so much problem? These crises have lingered. Sitting governors are still in PDP and they are saying they will support APC in the forthcoming elections. And this crisis, before the previous elections, this crisis have been on and they are still on. It's a PDP member is a 7th minister in the Federal Capital Territory and he's working towards delivering the Federal Capital Territory to the president, to APC.
So that will tell you that something sinister is happening. It's supposed not to be like that in party politics. You cannot be in party A and be working for party B. You cannot say you are a loyal member of PDP and you are working for APC. Like it's been alleged for our Minister of Federal Capital Territory and even the National Secretary of the party of PDP. And therefore, so it is not even enough for a governor, a sitting governor that was elected under a platform to deflect with the whole entire structure in the state.
Even when there's crisis in the party and it doesn't.
There is no much crisis in PDP. It has been like that in our polity. It will come and go. But they are having their convention. The conventions are not yet there. By December, PDP will have their conventions and elect whoever they want to be the national chairman, national secretary, and they take it from there. Remember that we are talking about 2027. These people have not concluded 2 years.
It's already here.
Yeah, we have not concluded. We are still in April. We have May 27 to talk about 2 years. And now after that, we have other 2 years for you to govern. And you are now leaving the party that we elected from to another party. Because probably you feel that there is no express law that will handle your deflection. Otherwise, if the Constitution is followed seriously with, as is stated in Section 68 of the Nigerian Constitution and Section 109 for House of Assemblies, the governor is supposed not to deflect.
But that's what I'm going to ask you now. Is cross-carpeting illegal by the Nigerian Constitution?
Well, according to Section 68 for House of Representatives and Senators, you cannot cross-carpet unless there is crisis in division in the party, not crisis. And this division has to come from federal to state to local government for it to be considered as a division. That was the decision of the court in Abekunle versus Osun State House of Assembly.
But you don't think the crisis in the People's Democratic Party is getting even to the one?
There is no division yet. There's no division. There's no faction of PDP any other place. It's only one PDP.
When some are already talking of going for coalition with other parties and some are saying they are not part of the coalition, that's not a separation.
That is not division because these are discussions ongoing and there will be no convention, no meeting, no nothing. It's just something that cooking around, which we don't know whether it will materialize or not.
How would you describe the effect of personal ambition to link it to this issue of defection?
That is the major crux of the matter, because in politics, the number one priority is their personal interest.
And not serving the people.
No, that is most often than not the number one issue. Personal interest. Otherwise, why should Okowa, who used to be the vice presidential candidate of PDP, deflect to APC? What's he going to get in APC? What's he going to get in APC?
So, yeah, but would you think the rulings of the court, earlier rulings of the court, has strengthened this recurring movement, defection to other parties, since there is no strong institutional warning or guide?
What you said is right, because the decision in the case of David Umahi by Court of Appeal, that the provisions of the law or the constitutional provisions are not clear as it affects the governors. The Court of Appeal ruled that it is ambiguous and there is no provision that can hold the governor from deflecting from party to the other. The Constitution did not contemplate that. Even Mr. President, there's no provision for that. So they can deflect because there's no provision like that of the governor. So when Umahi deflected to APC, it was challenged up to Court of Appeal level. And Court of Appeal ruled that there is no provision. And the provision here is ambiguous. And the provision here talks about House of Reps, Senate, and House of Assembly. And no, the governor was not mentioned.
So people will say that in advanced countries, advanced democracies, that the political parties are built on ideology. So what's the role of ideological leaning to defection as pertains to Nigeria?
Well, that is the main issue, that's the main cause of the matter, because here parties are not built on ideological basis. Like you have in the United States where you have the Democrats and the Republican.
But President Ibrahim Babangida tried to do that.
He tried to do that. He tried to do that, but it didn't work. Here, because of the nature of the country, because of tribal differences, because of religious differences, ideology, party-wise, is not working in the country. The most primary thing people think about is their interest. They may clothe it under the guise that they want to serve the people. But their personal interest is paramount on everything. Otherwise, why should our former president, the vice president, Atiku Abubakar, leave PDP to APC when Jonathan was the presidential candidate of the party and was the sitting president?
Probably he wanted to serve.
Yeah, he wants to serve because of his personal interest. When he could not find his way in APC because the ticket was given to Buhari, he has to come back to PDP. And today, we are, at crossroads. You can see that Wike and Okowa were the most probably candidates that would have been, the two of them would have been, considered to be vice presidential candidates of the party. Okowa was favored against Wike. And Wike, at the end of the day, said it openly that he worked against the party.
Okay.
He said it openly that he worked against the party. And that he equally loved what he did. But then, come to think about it, at the inception of that, when we were preparing for that election, the southern governors met at Asaba in Okowa's house and declared that the presidential candidate, all of them will support a presidential candidate from the south, since Buhari is going to finish his term as a president for 8 years, that naturally power ought to shift to the south. And all of them met and agreed. And it was surprising to everybody that the Okowa that hosted them was the person that accepted the vice presidential position.
So, but politics is a game of numbers. Don't you think that that came to play and that was why they went the other way?
That's why I say that basically no ideology. It is all interest.
Whose interest?
Personal interest. Probably Okowa now may have been promised to go back to the Senate.
No, I mean, some policy it has to do with the pressure from the Economic Financial Crime Commission.
Well, probably he contributed heavily to the financing of the presidential election, probably. And he has to account for his stewardship while he was there as a governor. And if he cannot account and the EFCC comes upon him, he's supposed to be able to account for his stewardship. Because
there's a mantra in the ruling party that once you join APC, your sins are washed away, your sins are forgiven, just like in the Bible. Probably everybody is trying to join APC. You may allegedly be asked to have stolen money, like if Joy joins the political party and amasses on would join. No, if you go to APC and the Adams Oshomola state, just commit whatever you want to commit, come down to APC, your sins will be washed away. So if there's going to be a baptism of righteousness for looters of the Nigerian economy, why don't you think the ruling party should be the escape route?
Most often than not, many people forget that government is a continuum. Today is APC. Tomorrow it might be another party. If that is the basis of joining another party, so it's just having a respite for a while. Because if there is a power shift, if there is a change, any day, any time, you still be called on to account for your stewardship. So it's just being clever by half, or just postponing the evil day, because government is a continuum. A crime is a crime.
Yeah, but we're seeing that this goal of defection is not only from PDP to APC. We are seeing people from APC forming new alliances. The case of the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, is there. So why would you think El-Rufai would, His Excellency El-Rufai, would have supported this present administration to come to power, and suddenly he has defected again to a new party entirely?
You can know the case of El-Rufai is a very serious matter. First and foremost, you know that his name was submitted as a minister of the Federal Republic, and the Senate rejected him. He didn't take it lightly, or he did not believe that it was just Senate that rejected him, that it must be the hands of the Senate that in collaboration with the executive. And this is the government he felt he worked for. And secondly, he brought somebody that took over from him, and the person equally jettisoned him and his team. And he now felt that he is not at home accepted, neither at the center is he accepted? And he has to struggle for his life politically. And that is why he's looking for a place for all his allies. Probably PDP is not giving him what he wants, and therefore he felt that he can use a single party, another smaller party, to prove a point, like Obi did when he took over from Labour. And so El-Rufai has gone back to his state, using SDP, building SDP, and making sure that in the next election, people, his allies in the state, will have a platform to run. That is the basis. Well, that's what the point El-Rufai wants to prove. And so that other people in the other party, knowing fully well what is happening in PDP and what is happening in other party, that they can use this party as a means of, running an election or form a formidable opposition against the sitting government, which is not bad.
So do you see his leaving APC do you think it's going to have an effect on the forthcoming elections? Well,
it is too early. It's too early because there will be more fallouts. Okay. There will be more fallout. You had Omo Agege who is saying that if the governor and Dokowa comes into APC, that he's going to leave. To go and achieve his interest. I'm the former deputy senate president.
This was going to be my question.
Yeah, so you can see that there are going to be a lot of fallouts that are going to come in, even in Lagos State. So we're watching.
We have looked at all the negative parts and the weaknesses of defection. How do you think defection strengthens democracy? Is there anything positive that can come out from defection?
That is what we are saying, that if you look back, when you have a multi-party system, it's difficult to achieve consensus. All attempt to create more states in this country did not work because there is no consensus among the parties in power. And there is no singular party that controls the two-third majority required. Like now, for you to create states, you need 24 states to accept that.
To create
one state. And it is very difficult. So the way you have a kind of a union like what is going on now, all the governors from the south joins APC, and now they have maybe another 5-6 from the north. They have 24 states, and they can use it to do what they want to do. They can use it to change the constitution of the Federal Republic, because there had been contention that this constitution is not autonomous, and it was just a military handover. And for them to change the provisions of the constitution, you need the consensus of at least 24 states. And probably who knows whether that is what Mr. President wants to achieve by lobbying all the governors to join him, and so that they can move on one direction and do certain things for the country. In fact, was it not Akpabio that was addressing, I think somebody was addressing the pastor Tunde Bakare, that we have heard what he said, but when they finish what they're doing, that Tunde will come to like it. We are still watching, we are still looking forward to what they're doing. Probably they want to change the constitution to the interest of the whole Nigeria, since it is believed that the provisions of this constitution were not from the people.
All right, sir. We'll have to go on a quick break right now. And we still have Honorable Ukenna Marcel Onora with us in the studio. We'll have to go on a quick break right now, and when we come back, we will continue. We've been talking about the wave of defections from other parties to the ruling All Progressive Congress, and our guest has been Honorable Ukenna Marcel Onora, who is a two-time House of Assembly member in Imo State and a one-time deputy gubernatorial candidate under the auspices of Action Alliance in Imo State. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
The recent wave of defections to the All Progressive Congress APC in Nigeria reflects a complex interplay of political dynamics and personal ambitions. There's been a notable increase in politicians, particularly lawmakers, switching alliances to the All Progressive Congress APC from opposition parties like the People's Democratic Party PDP and the Labour Party LP. High-profile defections such as the 2023 vice presidential candidate of the major opposition party, the PDP, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, and the governor of Delta State, Sheriff Ogboriwori, and the Speaker of Edo State House of Assembly and several lawmakers from Delta State have drawn considerable attention. Many defectors cite internal crises and divisions within their former parties as primary motivations. Political analysts suggest that factors like seeking political relevance, securing access to resources, and avoiding potential investigations also play a role. There have also been claims from members of the All Progressive Congress APC that the good work of the current government is the reason for the defections. These defections are reshaping the political landscape, potentially strengthening the All Progressive Congress's dominance. However, they also raise concerns about the stability of opposition parties and the potential for a one-party system. There is also concern that this influx of new members could cause internal friction within the All Progressive Congress. The defections have had strong regional impact, especially in states like Delta and Edo states, where the political power structure is shifting significantly. This shift have the potential to alter the political dynamics in upcoming elections. Critics argue that many defections are driven by political opportunism rather than ideological convictions. They point to the pattern of politicians switching patterns to align with the ruling power. The defections highlight the instability within some political parties, particularly the People's Democratic Party PDP, which has faced internal conflicts. This instability weakens the oppositions and affects the balance of power. There are concerns that the weakening of the opposition parties could have negative consequences for Nigerians' democracy. A strong opposition is considered essential for holding the government accountable. The All Progressive Congress views the defection as a sign of its growing strength and acceptance. They see it as a validation of their governance and leadership. In essence, the recent wave of defection reflects the fluid and dynamic nature of Nigerian politics, where alliances can shift rapidly. Welcome back to the discussion segment of Daily Communion on Catholic Television of Nigeria. We've been taking a look at the wave of defections to the All Progressive Congress Party, and our guest has been CMC Honora, a two-time member of House of Assembly in Imo State and a former deputy gubernatorial candidate under Action Alliance. So at this point, I still want us to take a look at Delta State, where the sitting governor defected with former presidential and vice presidential candidates defected, and they left with all party structures, House of Assembly members, and everything. Because yesterday when I watched a sister television, they interviewed some indigents, and they were all not happy. They have been, Delta State has been in PDP for 26 years. Ever since PDP started in Delta State, and so this is a new development to them. What do you have to say about this? And for the people not being happy, not one person interviewed was happy with the new developments.
Well, in this game, the people on top sees better than the people on the ground. There you have elected them as their leaders, and they're leading. they feel, according to Kowa, that he wants to lead his people to the national grid, and that they want to, hook to the center. But then you shouldn't forget the fact that the wife of the president is from Delta. They may decide to compensate their sister, who happens to come from Delta, who did not get any vote in the last election from Delta. In fact, it will be one day.
Okay.
So they may now have decided to hook to the center so that their sister can assist them to attract projects to their state. And they want to support their sister as the first lady. Probably, okay, I think this is the first time a democratically elected president of Nigeria is having a wife from Delta. What we had before was IBB, who married from Delta, and that was a military rule. So this time, they have their sister as the wife of Mr. President. And so it might be an advantage to them to join at the center so that their sister can help them bring in the dividends of democracy to the state.
But it's the masses that go to the field to vote.
Well, the most important thing is that what result do you have at the end of your tenure? Because when you want to take a decision based on what the masses will say, you may go wrong, because what you are seeing is not different from what they are seeing. If that will give them much from the present arrangement, so be it.
Okay, and another thing, Delta State is one of the states that has the highest federal allocation. They've never been denied that allocation. They've never been denied anything that they deserve, unlike, because the governor said something about being in line with the federal level. They didn't suffer what the present president suffered when he was governor of Lagos State, being deprived certain allocations and other opportunities. They are not suffering any of such opportunities. So
another thing you have to really consider is that staying in opposition in Nigerian politics today has a very lot of challenges. You might win your election, and then the god of election, which is INEC, decides who won the election, in spite of what the masses have said. And you take it further to the judiciary. You see certain things on grounds of technicality, you may lose the election you have won. Either they say you didn't prove it well, or they say this and that happened, and then on grounds of technicality you lose. You can look at what happened in Edo State, though the matter is still in court, so it's sub judice. Otherwise, look at what happened in Edo State, and the challenge in court, and what the decision of the tribunal. So people are still crying. If you go down to Edo State today and interview people, they will tell you that they voted for PDP. Other group may only say they voted for APC. But at the end of the day, the decision of INEC is considered as the supreme decision on this matter. After that, you go to the court, and the challenges of winning your election in court is too long and too cumbersome. So it saves you a lot of challenges, maybe to just join the ruling party and retain your position.
That means this doesn't have anything to do with governance.
That is what I'm telling you from initial stage, that the major interest in Nigerian politics today is self. If you can remember the interview Obi had recently, I think in Arise Television, where he was saying that democracy has almost collapsed. Now, when he won his election in court, that he didn't even want to come back because he was afraid that he'd be arrested in the airport. But the then President Yar'Adua called him. He said, "Where are you?" He told Yar'Adua where he was. And Yar'Adua said, "Come back." He told Yar'Adua, "I'm afraid they will arrest you." He said, "Come back and you will not be arrested." Yar'Adua was in a different party, PDP. And Obi was in Abga as at that time. They all came down and supported Obi, and Obi took over his position. But Obi was saying that the reverse is the case today.
Yeah, because Yarodua had one of his 7-point agendas to be respect of the rule of law. But that aside, I want to ask you just talked about Obi like 2 times now, and the current Oni of Ife described Mr. P2P performance in the last election as a tsunami. Do you think there will be more defection that will align with P2P, or do you think there's going to be merging of other political parties that might unite under a southern candidate? Knowing that there's still time, there's going to be a lot of underwater currents. So what do you expect that will be coming out very soon?
Anything we are saying here should be considered as being speculative, because I said a lot of things are going to happen later.
Between now
and 2027. Nobody knows, and probably that's why Mr. President is working hard to make sure that he has a lot of people that will support him, and then so that he can win the election. But one thing that is surprising is that in the last election, Labour had no governor. They won all the states in the southeast. They won almost all the states in the south-south. They won in the north central. You know, there was no governor. So when you are now, trying to make governors to deflect, as if it is, as if once a governor follows, the people follow. It doesn't follow. It is democracy. So nobody knows where Obi is going to come from. I now want to go to the file. He said that Obi won the election with 73%. If I said it.
And but that's what he said it because
it was in the media, he not said it.
But if you say that, it now counters another thing that Obi said. If you're saying that Obi's performance in the last election showed that our democracy is on track, that means our democracy is still good. So if he's able to do that again, despite the fact that there is an opposition leader as the president, that still means we have no fear for democracy. Our democracy is doing well.
The irony of it all is that if you consider the crowd that followed Obi, you will know that almost 80% or 70% of them belong to the Gen Z generation. And they felt, because Mr. President told them that time that there will be free and fair election. And everybody believed that our what do you call it? Our beavers will work. These children came all the way from Europe, came all the way from every part of the world to come and vote. So believing on beavers, believing on what the government told them that is going to work, only to see that at the end of the day, the beavers were not used. Okay, and so when you call them now to come and talk about another election, there will be disillusionment. Okay, there will be voter apathy. And so these are the fundamental things we are going to look at. Unless there is another, another situation that will be propped up to make them to believe in it. Otherwise, many people are not believing in Nigerian democracy today.
Okay. Because I wanted to ask you if, with the turn of events, if you think those Gen Z and those people that came in will still want to do what they did last time.
If the situation remains unchanged, they will not come. Unless there is a change of the system, either electoral review, either amendment of the provisions of the electoral law, either making sure that the beavers thing works.
Yeah, but that is set to announce a new INEC chairman, so probably that could be the new tonic that we need to ginger the disease to be part of the.
Well, we pray that that will be a very good one. For Mr. President to announce a very nice INEC chairman.
Unbiased. Announce somebody has never met.
Yes, unbiased. Yeah.
President to announce
an unbiased chairman. But when you look at the trajectory of Mr. President's appointment in these 2 years, you see that recently what was published in the paper, almost 60-70% are young girls.
Yeah, but again, he might,
Which people?
the argument might be as a Yoruba man being the chairman of INEC. Yeah, that could be that. If you appoint somebody from the southwest or from the Yoruba race tribe, the person could be fine. It is their turn. Since we're going to that, and so if it's their turn, the president is giving his prerogative to appoint somebody from the southwest to be the president. Or as he deems this, what do you think?
No, he's entitled to appoint anybody. That's what the law says. He is not compelled by any provisions of the law to appoint from one place or the other. But you know, people feel that for us to have a decent democracy, since you are a Yoruba man, you have to go to another tribe. You would appoint another person so that you will have some fairness, some equity, from the, that kind of stuff.
And so, a Yoruba man appointed and the person has integrity. A Falana can be appointed,
but it's still true. You can even appoint him because even some Yoruba people don't even support him. Some Yoruba people don't support him.
The president doesn't need to appoint his enemy as the chairman of INEC. He can appoint somebody with integrity. It's not about supporting the president now. We are looking for who will give us free, fair, credible elections.
All of us, nobody can be an enemy of Mr. President. Mr. President, you can be an enemy to Mr. Tinubu, but you cannot be an enemy to Mr. President. He's the Mr. President of Nigeria. If you have a personal ground with Mr. Tinubu, it's a different thing altogether. But then, as a president of Nigeria, you can't become an enemy to him. Why should he be an enemy? He's there to, carry out his constitutional functions, and therefore, why should he be his enemy?
So, in other words, he can appoint a man of integrity who is a friend to the president and who is from the southwest.
That it doesn't matter.
Very good.
It does not matter. Because there is no law that says he must appoint from another tribe other than his own. There's no law that says he must appoint from another party other than his own. There's no law that says this is he's free to do whatever he wants to do.
I want to ask you something. You mentioned something about the voice of Esau and the hand of Jacob. I hope I got it fine in the Bible. But now, do you think the ruling party has a hand in the defection that is going on?
Well, there's no way they will have a hand.
You have an evidence.
When you talk about having a hand, if they don't have a hand, if they're approached, they will say no now. But for the fact that somebody approached them and they accepted, if they have a hand,
Must they approach them?
How can you join a party without approaching the party? After all, when the governor of Delta State just joined, the leadership of the governors forum, under Senator Opus, my governor of Imo State, led the team to go and thank him for coming. With the vice president, they were all there. Receiving him, thanking him. So they are equally happy that he joined. So they have a hand.
You can have a personal conviction about.
But you have heard that other governors are equally going to join. Haven't you heard that?
Yes, I've heard that.
It is there.
What's the long-term implication of all this?
I have told you, this long-term implication of the defection is we are working towards one-party state, which is not good for our system, based on the fact that our constitution preaches multi-party system in the country. And so when you have about a one-party state, there is a lot of problems associated with it. There's a lot of problems associated with multi-party system.
There's something I'm looking at.
Multi-party system.
Something you said here, and you said that you may not like Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You cannot dislike the president of Nigeria.
Yes.
So can we again look at it that the wonderful policies of our well-beloved president, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, so loved that even the oppositions are massively moving. Because if we cannot, there's a difference between Tinubu and who the president is, it must be that he's doing something that's wonderful and Nigerians are so happy, and there's a massive trooping into the ruling party because of his wonderful policies. Beyond what you raised about personal interest, don't you think there should be some elements of things that are attracting people probably about his wonderful policies?
She did say that when people from Delta states were interviewed about the movement of the party, the governor Okora and the team to APC, many of them felt that that was not a good move. I did squarely say that probably what they saw going up, the people down are not seeing it yet. But by virtue of what you are saying in terms of good policies of Mr. President that is making the other leaders to join, that those good things ought to be felt by the people. So if the leaders are seeing it and the people are not seeing it, is a challenge.
So are you saying this dispensation is not doing well?
No, I have not said so. But what I'm trying to let you know that is that sometimes I did say that for the fact that you go and capture governors does not mean that you are going to win the state. So this example is a wash with it. So what are we saying? Time will tell whether the policies of Mr. President are very, very good or not. I believe that what our leaders are seeing, that the masses maybe should see it, and that will now, you will come to terms with people will come to terms with it. Because I told you that Zikapadu was telling Tunde Bakari in the paper that by the time we finish what we are doing, you will come to appreciate it. After Tunde Bakari's announcement, broadcast against the sitting president. So we are watching. We want the economy to improve. We want to see things done well. We want to see a fair judiciary. We want to see freedom of press. We want to see democracy in action. These are things that will help the people, and so that we have full representation. People will play politics, have time to contest elections, not when you feel that, after I must have, if I win this election, I don't know what I'm going to see in court. These are challenges of our democracy. It is very, very, very painful, and we need a very sound democracy to move on in this country, to achieve progress all over the world. Where you have progress, where you have development, there is sanity in the democracy. You can imagine, even in America, where we borrow this idea, their judges are elected. They are not appointed by the executive. I don't know why we should not incorporate that into our constitution and elect our judges so that they will not dance to the tune of the sitting government, and they will be there for everybody, both for people that are there, I mean people that are in the ruling party and people that are not in the ruling party. So I believe that we should tilt with our constitution, do certain things with our constitution to achieve a full democracy. Look at the issue of true federalism. See the killings going on everywhere. People are crying. We need to talk seriously about state police. Even when we do the democracy, they have state police. And these are the things that are going to sanitize the system so that these killings will be reduced to the barest minimum. You cannot be talking about democracy where there is no freedom of movement. You cannot move from here to Kaduna without turning your back like this. You cannot move here from Bokoja without stretching your back. It's not done. Why in other good democracy people move in the 12 o'clock by midnight and go freely? And that's what we want. And when we have such system, there will be progress, there will be development. So but if we continue on this trajectory, we cannot be sure what you get tomorrow in the judiciary, different interpretations on on different issues, and you cannot be sure of what is happening in the states, and when even you call the state command, you cannot get even a quick response. People are being killed here and there. It's not good for our democracy.
Okay.
That's what we are feeling. That's what we are seeing.
All right, our time is fast spent. Well, as we've been talking with CMC Oniora, who is a two-time member of House of Assembly in Imo State and a former deputy gubernatorial aspirant under EA in Imo State. And our focus has been the wave of defections from other parties to the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC. If you are just joining us, it's the Daily Communion and we still have more to come. We're going to a quick break right now and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
The CTV is our own product, and for a long time we have been waiting for this. Now you don't have to start looking around the television channels to find something decent. You can be sure that once you hit Catholic TV, you've hit something decent.
My name is Ignatius Kaigama, the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja. I am a very strong fan of the Catholic television of Nigeria. I invite you to watch the Catholic television of Nigeria, which is now on Go TV and online. Don't miss this great program produced by this great Catholic television.
What's up, my people? They call me Tubaba. Keep watching Catholic television. One love.
My name is King Tonto. Keep watching the Catholic TV. God bless you.
Hi, Catholic TV fan. We are the Glamour Girls of St. Columbani Secondary School, Ikwen, Obatakara local government area, in Akwa Ibom State. There is no place like St. Columbani's, and there is no TV station like the Catholic television. Stay connected.
You are watching CTV.
That's it for this morning's episode of Daily Communion on Catholic Television of Nigeria. I bet you had a nice time with us and you will join us tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. I remain Joy Uben. Bye for now.
And my name is Arthur. If I guess you enjoyed this conversation today, please let us stay with you tomorrow, same time, same station.